Before you see the next two clips, I'm going to go through the text with you. The reason for going through this chunk of Shakespeare is that, first of all, it's very, very famous in war propaganda circles, and so it's good to have been exposed to it. Whether or not you get all of it, that's okay. You'll get what you can get. And I want to make connections between these two different versions. The most famous one, which is from 1944, which is Laurence Olivier, and then Kenneth Branagh, which is 1989. So at the point where things were there, it was peace. It was the in fact 1989 was a good year for peace because the Berlin Wall came down and it was the end of the Soviet regime, which meant that basically people could go back to sort of organizing their lives the way they wanted to instead of having to work inside the Soviet machine, which was not a pretty sight, and so on. And then I want to connect that to Lord of the Rings, to The Return of the King, and then to Avatar. And so I want you to be able to see when I say the generation, I mean that is the creation and then the development of this particular idea of how you give a war speech. Basically, what agitation propaganda looks like when it's done really, really well. And in the case of Henry V, the first Henry V, this was accomplished because the War Department went to Olivier and said, please make us a propaganda film. And he said, I will make Henry V. And he did. And this is still one of the most famous versions of Henry V there is. And it's just so it's just so quick and smart. And Olivier was just so remorseless with this speech. It's amazing. And then you can see Branagh. And Branagh is much more friendly and open. It's very interesting to see the two different versions of Henry V that you get here. One who was really almost a tyrant, according to Olivier's vision of it, is like, this is, you gotta agree. There's no other version. But in Branagh's version, he's like, oh, come on with me, come on, it's okay. You just, my cousin Westmoreland, what are you doing? What are you guys doing? So I'm going to annotate these in the best way that I can. So this is just a little intro to that.